All right, here I am at the East End Avenue railroad crossing number 1 in Chicago Heights, Illinois. So this crossing right here is a neat little crossing here owned by the Union Pacific Villa Grove subdivision, but this is actually a spur line section of it that goes into Gabby's metals and a bunch of other industries as you head on east. And since me and the boys are around the area for the day, we decided to rail fan around the Villa Grove sub and check out what's around Chicago Heights. And I decided to tour one of the crossings on the spur line because there are plenty of really cool crossings on the spur line of this subdivision. So maybe the next time I come back, I'll tour more. But since we're kind of running on limited time, I'm only going to tour this one for today because this one features some pretty neat equipment and a little bit of history behind it. And also another thing worth mentioning, this crossing was malfunctioning earlier. Like the lights were like flickering a little bit, and maybe I'll catch it again in action or something. But for now, I'm gonna go ahead and tour it for you guys. So I guess with that said, I'll explain as I go on, as always. So with that said, let's get to it. So for the first signal, this has a Harmon cantilever, like a much smaller style of it. And the emergency information is stamped on the gate mast over here, and the dot number for this crossing is 862-645N. And for the gate mechanism, this has a Western Cullen-Hayes gate mechanism, newer generation, sitting on a Western Cullen-Hayes base. And this features some NEG LED gate lights and a wind guard. Now, one thing worth mentioning, that back up until the early 2010s, this crossing used to be completely gateless. Yep, it used to be gateless, but they slapped some gates on at around 2011, 2012, I'd say, around there. And for the mast lights, this has one pair of Western Cullen-Hayes 12x24-inch second generation LEDs and one pair of Harmon 12x20-inch light heads, one with a Western Cullen-Hayes second generation LED insert and the other one a General Signal LED insert. I believe that's either a General Signal or Electrotech LED insert, or maybe it's a Western Cullen-Hayes first gen LED insert. I'm not totally sure, but you see that and the logos on the side. And the Western Cullen-Hayes LEDs are sitting on a Western Cullen-Hayes light bracket. As you can see, these ones have the rounded back light heads, while these ones are sitting on a Harmon light bracket. Pretty neat stuff. And for the overhead lights, let me back up for a little bit. And for the overhead lights, this has two pairs of Modern Industries 12x20-inch light heads with a mixture of Safetran Dialight LED inserts and I think General Signal LED inserts. Yep, there's here's the Dialight LED and here's the General Signals one. And these are all sitting on a Modern Industries light bracket, as you can see. And I believe the back lights have the General Signals light inserts. Yep. And one of them also has another Western Cullen-Hayes second gen light insert or Leotech EV series. Quite the odd mixture of LEDs, if you ask me. Like a smorgasbord, like a salad of LEDs at this crossing, like different ones. And for the bell on this one, this has a Western Cullen-Hayes electronic bell. Not sure of what type, probably a type 3 if I had to guess. But yeah, this right here was the first signal, quite the weird like Frankenstein signal. You can see it's a mixture of Harmon, Modern Industries, and Western Cullen-Hayes. Quite interesting stuff. So now there's a little divider in the road, so I'm gonna go ahead and cross it once this car clears. Yep. Alrighty. Now for the second signal, which doesn't have as much variety of equipment, but it's still pretty cool to check out. So for the second signal, which is not similar to the first, well, it might have some similarities, but for the second signal, this one has a Modern Industries cantilever, shorter style, as you can see. You can see the patent for it. And here's the emergency information once again. And for the gate mechanism, this has another Western Cullen-Hayes gate mechanism, newer generation, sitting on a Western Cullen-Hayes base. And this features some more NEG LED gate lights and a wind guard. And for the mast lights, this has one pair of Modern Industries 12x24-inch light heads with Western Cullen-Hayes second gen and General Signals LED inserts, and one more pair of Western Cullen-Hayes 12x24-inch second generation LEDs with the rounded back light heads. And these are sitting on a Western Cullen-Hayes light bracket, and these are sitting on a Modern Industries light bracket. See the Louisville, Kentucky logo. And for the overhead lights, this has two more pairs of Modern Industries 12x24-inch light heads with a mixture of Western Cullen Hayes second generation LED inserts and General Signals LED inserts. And these are also sitting on a Modern Industries light bracket, I believe. Let me go ahead and go over here. Yep, they are. And for a bell, this has another Western Cullen Hayes electronic bell, I believe a Type 3. But yeah, I guess that said, whew, that's quite a lot of equipment to uncover, but this was the East End Avenue crossing, number 1, owned by the Union Pacific Villa Grove sub spur line. Here's the relay case, sitting at milepost 0.13, so this is basically where it begins. You can see where it begins in the yard. And speaking of which, let's go ahead and take a look at the track view. So you can see there, right down there is heading north to right where right where it heads into that little yard right there. And you can see over there is the main line crossing, in which I have to tour in a bit. And down there is heading east towards where the tracks curve into the many, many industries that this heads to, and many like branch tracks that it heads off to. It's a little confusing on where this exactly heads to, but you know, it heads to many different places, so I'm probably not going to uncover all of that in this video. But it's still a pretty neat spur line that only gets used like every now and then. But I guess with all that said, this was the East End Avenue railroad crossing number 1 in Chicago Heights, Illinois. Pretty neat stuff. Hopefully I get this in action sometime soon, but I guess with all that said, over and out.